I wait.
So we have, welcome to Business A-Level class with Dr. Adebayo. We're going to start with question 1. So for question 1, they said, using the extract using the data in extract A, calculate the price elasticity of demand for records. Product. Following the price change in 2022, you are advised to show your working. So we have to quickly go through the question together. So we have extract A. For extract A, stop that already, please. For extract A. All right. So for extract A, here they said, we look at the second paragraph here, they said, in 2022, sales of records fell by 4.6% after it put its price up by 12%. So there's quantity demanded that fell. The quantity demanded fell by 4.6%, and because the price rises by 12%. So we have 4.6% and 12%. So they said we should calculate the price elasticity of demand. So go back to the question. So for price elasticity of demand, so PED is percentage change in quantity demanded over percentage change in price. This is the formula for PED, which means PED equals Q2 minus Q1 over Q1 divided by P2 minus P1 over P1. Yeah, I'm answering already. So just look at them like this. So our P1 is 100% because they said percentage increase. Then Q1 is also 100%. Now we have our P2. P2 will be the price increased by 12%, right? That's 100 plus 12. And Q2, the quantity demanded fell by 4.6%, right? So that means 100 minus 4.6. So here our P1 is 100, P2 is 112, Q1 100, Q2 96.4. 96.4. Are you with me, please?
Yeah, I'm with you.
So from here we say PED equals Q2 minus Q1. That was 96.4 minus Q1 over Q1 divided by P2, which is 112 minus P1.
Why is it 100?
That's the formula. It's 100%. They said increase in 100%. That simply means there's a certain 100% that is constant.
They didn't mention it.
No, they wouldn't mention it because they use percentage. You have to understand it is 100.
But I don't know.
Now I'm teaching you now. Forget about that and focus here. So this is 100. So this is 100. So we have PED to be 96.4 minus 100. That's minus 4.6 divided by 100. Multiply reciprocal 100 over 112 minus 100. That is 12. Yes or no? So this cancels this. So we have negative 4.6 over 12. So we have negative 4.6 divided by 12. So it's 0.38. So it's close to negative 0.38. So that is inelastic. Inelastic. Do you get that now, please?
0.38.
0.38, yes.
That's the answer.
Yeah, 0.38. And it's inelastic. Do you get that? Do you get that, please?
No.
Should I explain again?
Yes.
The question is about price elasticity. So they said there's an increase in price. There's an increase in price by 12%. As a result, there's a fall in quantity demanded by 4.6. So that simply means there's a certain 100% somewhere. So 100% for price, 100% for quantity. So your P1, Q1 is 100. Then your Q2. So now your P2 will be a change in price, which is plus 12. And your Q2 will be a change in quantity demanded, which is minus 4.6. So that gives you your P1, Q1, P2, Q2. And the formula is Q2 minus Q1 over Q1 divided by P2 minus P1 over P1. So P1 is 100, Q1 is 100. P2 is 112, Q2 is 96.4. So 96.4, which is Q2 minus Q1 over Q1 divided by P2 minus P1 over P1. So Q2 minus Q1 is minus 4.6 over 400. 112 minus 100 is 12 over 100. But here, you have to reciprocate because there's division. So that's minus 4.6 over 100 times 100 over 12. 100 has cancelled the 100. We have minus 4.6 over 12. And that gives us negative 0.38. Do you get that?
Okay, I get you.
Okay. Shall we move on, please?
Oh, okay, I get it.
Okay. Shall we move on?
Yeah. Good.
So that's question 1A. We go to question 1B. For question 1B, they said, construct a supply and demand diagram to show the impact on the market for decades as consumers now have less available income to spend on help. So there's a fall in consumer income. As soon as consumer income falls, the quantity demand, their purchasing power reduces. So they won't be able to buy out what they used to buy previously. So that simply means the quantity demanded would reduce. And the graphical representation is this. So we have to draw a demand and supply graph for that. So a fall in the level of income will shift the quantity demanded leftward. So we have at equilibrium, first at equilibrium, PE, QE, demand, supply, right? Yes or no? So now there's a fall in consumer level of income. That will shift the demand curve leftward from D to D1. Then we're going to have a low equilibrium price because the quantity demanded would reduce from QE to Q1. And we have our price here. So a fall in the level of income will reduce the quantity demanded for a product from D to D1 as the quantity demanded has contracted from QE to Q1. As a result, there's going to be a fall in price from PE to P1. Clear?
Yeah.
So go to question 1C. So for question 1C, they said, I wrote the formula for you anyway. So for question 1C, they said, discuss the benefit for a global business that comes from extending the product life cycle of its products by entering a new market. So there's extending the product life cycle. When you are extending your product life cycle, it simply means you have successfully take your product away from decline to start selling again. So that is what extending is here. So here I wrote, extending the product life cycle simply implies that the business is able to prevent its product from declining, therefore able to sell successfully. That is extending your product life cycle. And one way to extend the product life cycle is to sell in a new market. Existing product in a new market. And that is the question here. So for extension strategy, in this situation means the business is able to enter a new market where the product is not yet known. Do you get what I'm saying here?
Yeah.
So it's an extension strategy because you are selling an existing product in a new market. And it's a new market because the product is not yet known in that market. That makes it a new market. It reduces the cost for the business as it will be able to use existing production facility to produce new ones, saving time and money. So you're going to produce in that market, but you're going to use existing facility or production facility. You're not going to create a new machine to produce in that market. And that reduces, because it saves time, whatever saves time saves money. Does it make sense? However, entering a new market may need promotion as the product will be new, will be in the introductory stage, and without awareness, customers may not buy. The product is new in that market. That means it's in the introductory stage, introduction. So if customers are not aware of your product, you have to promote the product. You have to advertise the product to create awareness about the new product, and that might be expensive. Some changes may be needed to meet market demand because a new market you are going to, you might have to adapt the product to the demand of that market. Is it clear? Any question about that? Go to question 1D. Are you there? I just hope you go through these things, please.
You do stuff.
Learn. Question 1D, they said, assess the importance of exchange rates for a global business when considering entering a market such as Kenya. Exchange rate is the price of a country's currency in relative to other countries' currency. the price of a country's currency in relative to other countries' currency, that is exchange rate. So changes in exchange rate can impact on a business when entering a market in another country. So there's changes in exchange which can be appreciation or depreciation. You have to talk about both of them. So we start with currency appreciation. Currency appreciation, this implies that currency of Kenya has increased in value. That is currency appreciation. This means a business trying to enter Kenya will find its product less expensive, as few shillings will be needed to buy more of the foreign product. So in a business coming to Kenya to sell its products, it becomes cheaper because import is cheaper.
Yeah, sure.
Citizens in Kenya will be able to buy it at a cheaper rate because they need few shillings to buy more of the foreign currency. So that makes importation cheaper. This may increase revenue for the global business. So the business going to Kenya to sell its product in Kenya will witness more sales because it is cheaper for importation based on the fact that the currency is appreciating. So if the value of the dinars appreciate against the dollars, it makes importation becomes cheaper.
Sure.
Currency depreciation now. Depreciation means the value of the currency is going down, yes or no? That makes exportation to become cheaper, but importation becomes expensive. Yes or no?
Yeah.
This will in turn make importation expensive. Therefore, a new business entering Kenya may witness a fall in the demand for its products. So a new business coming to Kenya will witness a fall in the price in demand of its product because importation is expensive going to Kenya. However, it may depend on how much the currency is depreciating and how long it will. So we can talk about currency depreciation. How long is it going to take to depreciate? And how much is it depreciating? You said that, yes. I know. So I gave you the mark for that anyway. Also, it will depend on the PED of the product. So if inelastic, irrespective of the price, customer will still buy. Do you get it or not? Forget about that now. Let's focus. You tell PED when you're talking about something else. Let's move on, please. So that's about question 1D. Go to question 1E. Assess the importance of cultural. Can you just focus here, please?
Yeah.
Assess the importance of cultural and social factors in global marketing. When talking about cultural and social factors, it ranges between countries. These are differences between countries, and it ranges from language. I'm talking here, please.
I am focusing.
You're not. Stop that and focus here, please.
Sure.
Cultural and social factors are differences between countries, which ranges from language, religion, social norms, cultures, political system, and laws. This makes it cultural and social factors, not just norms, as you said. In global marketing, it will be important for a business to comply with both social and cultural differences to thrive. To succeed, a business might have to, focus on both cultural and social factor. A global business needs to be aware of these differences because failure to take them into consideration may cause offense. If you don't put into consideration the culture of a country, the law of a country, you might be offending that country. That is the point I'm making there. Language. So I'm taking them one at a time now. Language. Language needs to be carefully checked when using for promotion to avoid any embarrassing meanings when translated. The ability of a business to adapt to both political, cultural, and social factors may create a competitive advantage. However, not all products or services may need to be adapted to these factors. Not having to adapt too much saves time and money for a global business. If you don't have to adapt, it simply means you can as well expand and exploit economies of scale. We go to question 2. For question 2, they said, evaluate the impact on business of increased globalization. The question is about increased globalization, which is about the benefit of globalization and the setbacks of globalization, not the hindrance of globalization. First, what is globalization? Globalization is the interconnectedness of the world economies. Globalization brings about market opportunities and threats. So with globalization, there's opportunity in the market and there are threats in the market. We start with the opportunities. Globalization will allow businesses to trade in different countries which may in turn lead to more sales and increased profitability. With globalization, a business from Nigeria might be able to sell in Libya, might be able to sell in Kuwait, might be able to sell in Turkey, might be able to sell in UK. And that increases sales and profitability for such business. That is an opportunity. Globalization allows cheaper importation of raw materials, which in turn reduce the cost of production for firms, making them internationally competitive. With globalization, firms, businesses may be able to import raw materials at a reduced cost, and that makes them to be able to export at a reduced price, making them internationally competitive. That's an opportunity. The third one, globalization may allow businesses to set up a joint venture, which may lead to a mutual benefit. Globalization allows a Nigerian business to come into Libya and strategically, collaborate with a Libyan firm to set up a new project. And both that project will be mutually beneficial to both the Nigerian firm and the Libyan firm. I think it's clear here. Is it clear or not?
Yeah, sure.
Another point about globalization. Globalization increases specialization, which leads to better efficiency and increased output. Globalization allows FDI, which in turn create employment opportunity for host country and leading to increased disposable income. With globalization, host country that's for the MNCs now, host country that allow them to be there, or FDI inflow, those countries that allow FDI inflow would witness increase in employment opportunity, and that increases their level of income. Globalization allows technology transfer, which local firms can use to their own benefit for growth. With technology, local firms can as well grow. However, now the problems of globalization, not the hindrance of globalization. The first one, globalization increases competitiveness, which may affect local firms who cannot compete. Does it make sense here?
Yeah.
Globalization leads to environmental damage, such as deforestation, pollution, congestion, and so on. Increased specialization may put countries into vulnerability, especially countries that are, that are reliant in the extractive industry. There's volatility of price. So countries that rely on the primary sector of the economy might have to, might be vulnerable to changes in price. When there is specialization, developed countries will be able to will continue to develop technology, while non-developed countries or developing countries will still continue to rely on extraction of raw materials. So that increases the gap between developed country and developing country. Does it make sense here? Any question about globalization?
No.
The third question. The third question is about multinationals. They said, evaluate the impacts that multinationals might have on the local economy where they operate.
Sure.
MNCs are businesses that operate in more than one country. So we call them multinationals because they operate in more than one country. ExxonMobil, KFC, Marks and Spencer, Apple, they are all multinationals. The following are the impacts of MNCs on the local economy. Number one, they create employment for the host countries. According to Extract F, the number of people employed by multinational companies in Ireland reached an all-time high of 275,000 in 2021, which was a 10% increase on the pre-pandemic era. Yes or no? This may in turn increase the income level in Ireland and other host countries, bringing about a better living standard. Does it make sense? MNCs may pay local taxes, which may be used to benefit the level of the local areas. MNCs, they pay taxes, local taxes. And because they pay local taxes, that is beneficial to the local area. MNCs will contribute to the total output of a country, which in turn increase GDP. Look at how I constructed it here. MNCs will I'm telling you how I constructed.
Yeah.
Compared to what you did. MNCs will contribute to the total output of a country, and that increases the GDP of such country. MNCs may train local employees, which improve the human capital of the local area they are set up. MNCs will employ workers, right? These workers may lack the necessary skills for operation. So MNCs will train them, and that improves the human capital in the local area. We're still talking about the benefit of MNCs. Another point is here. MSCs may build new facilities and access routes, which may improve local infrastructure. They might build roads so that it becomes operational for them. And that improves the infrastructure of that community. However, MSCs may cause environmental damage, such as pollution that is predicted to damage the wildlife on the coast of Mozambique, according to Extract G. MSCs may leave a country at any point in time, especially if resources are depleted. When they finish using your resources, they leave. They came suddenly and they would leave suddenly.
Sure.
It's just a common sense thing. MSCs repatriate, look at this now, MSCs repatriate profits, which means they may as well not improve the local infrastructure. Not this way. MSCs will repatriate profit, which simply means they might not as well improve infrastructure of that country.
What I said, I won't be perfect.
Check.
Many of the profit that MNCs benefits from country, which then may not benefit as much as that is.
What's that? MSCs repatriate profit, which means they may as well not improve the local infrastructure. So whatever point you make, you have to tell us the consequence of that point, or you have to relate the point to the next point. Oh, MSCs are repatriating profit. So how does that affect or impact on the local community? It impacts on the local community because the profit that has been repatriated would not be used to build infrastructure. And the overall impact on the local economy depends on MSC's policies and the degree which a country's government can regulate their activities. So the impact of MSCs on the local community depends on the policies of MSCs and also the strength of the government of that country, of the host country, on how they are able to, to regulate or control the activities of MSCs. There's another problem about MSCs. MSCs might, because of their financial capability, they might evade tax. They might bribe their way. They might not even train workers in the local community in strategic areas. These are the problems of MSCs.
Sure.
Any question about it?